My name is Joel Pallissard. I'm from Lincoln Way East High School. I'm the associate head football coach and offensive coordinator for the Lincoln Way East Griffins. Our next segment is our formations. We're going to talk about these formations basically from our alignment and our split of these formations, and then that will bring us into our third session, which will be the particular plays. So these are our formations, our terminology we use here at Lincoln Way East. Let's start with the first formation, which is our ace formation. I touched on this formation very little in the first segment, and it just geared around our philosophy. But this is our basic formation. We're in this formation at least 75 to 85% of each game a year. So when you look at this formation, this is our bread and butter formation. It is dictated with our personnel and geared around our personnel depending on the type we have that year. In our ace formation, if the ball is in the middle of the field, our wide receivers, being our X on our left side and our Y on our right side, will split the difference between the hash and the sideline. Hash and the sideline. If we are on a left hash, where our left-right wide receiver, which is our X, is near the boundary, he will be 5 yards from the sideline. If we're on that same left hash, our wide receiver on the right side will be 2 yards outside the hash. Now this will vary depending on the play, but that is our standard alignment there on the left hash. Now if we're on the right hash, it's completely opposite. The right wide receiver is 5 yards from the sidelines, no closer, and our left receiver is 2 yards outside the hash. But that's their basic alignment. Okay, our wings. Our wings are set right off the tackle, so our tackle and wing have to work with each other because our wings are exactly 2 feet outside the tackle. And their left foot or their right foot, the one that's closest to the tackle, is down inside, inverted inside, and the outside foot is right on the tackle's heels. And you'll see that when we get into our third segment with the plays. But he is exactly 2 feet from that tackle's heels, and he's angled in a half moon angle towards the opposite inside linebacker. Our fullback, his hand is 1.5 yards from the quarterback's heels, which is approximately 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. Our quarterback is directly underneath the center with his arms extended. Our tackles will vary. They'll be from 3.5 to 4.5 feet away from the guard, and our guards will be right around 2.5 feet away from the center. That's our basic alignment. Now our splits with that particular alignment will vary. They'll vary up depending on the play. We sometimes might be in a situation where we're tipping off plays. At this point in time, it did not matter to us if we did tip off the play. We're going to still run it. So we'll vary up our splits depending on the play, depending on how we feel it can give us an advantage. We'll go with real wide splits running certain plays, and we'll go with real narrow splits running certain plays. Depends on our personnel, depends on the defensive personnel. But as a general, those splits are 3.5 to 4.5 between the tackles and the guards, and then 2.5 between the guards and the center. Our stances in this. Our stances, if you're on the left side and you're on the line of scrimmage, or on the line of scrimmage, you are in a left-handed stance. So our guard and tackle are on left-handed stances. Our center is snapping the ball. Our right guard and right tackle are in right-handed stances. Our 2 wide receivers are in 2-point stances. Okay? Their inside leg is up. Their hands are right around their chest or midsection in case we have a bump and run type of coverage, so they can get off the line of scrimmage. Our wings are also in 2-point stances. Their hands are on top of their thigh boards, angled in a half moon fashion. And our fullback is in a 3-point stance. His inside power leg is back. So if he's left-handed, his left foot is back, and his left hand is down. If he is right-handed, his inside right foot is back, and his right hand is down. So on the left side, left-handed stances. On the right side, right-handed stances if you're on line of scrimmage as far as the interior linemen go. and then 3-point stance by the fullback and 2-point stance by the wings and wide receivers. A big part of our philosophy with having the wings into 2-point stances is they have the ability to see the type of defense they're dealing with, the ability to possibly pick up any kind of scheme that they're throwing at us, the ability to get into motion, and the ability to get into their pass routes. So we add a lot of things to the particular wing personnel. So they have to be in that 2-point stance in order to withstand that and handle that. But this is our ace formation. Again, we're in this 75 to 85% of the time. Let's take a look at our spread formation. Our spread formation is now taking our wings from the regular ace alignment and widening them out towards the sideline. So our right wing is splitting the difference between our wide receiver and our right tackle. Our left wing is splitting the difference between the left tackle and the wide receiver. Now they were in 2-point stances angled in the ace formation. Now they're in a receiver stance, which is a 2-point stance with their inside foot up and their hands at their chest area. Okay, so if they do receive any type of, again, press coverage, they can get off the line of scrimmage. So what we're doing in this spread formation is we're taking our wings and widening them out and getting them out into the receiver route that we might need them into, or in a particular run play that we need. But we're spreading them out. It's called our spread formation. Our rest of our alignment by our receivers are the same. By the fullback is the same. By the center, guards, and tackles is the same, and our quarterback is the same. So the only variation of our spread formation is by our left wing and our right wing, also known as our T and our Z. But this is our spread formation. We're going to go to our Ruby formation now. In our Ruby formation, we're taking the wing that was on the left side, and he is going to the right side now. So this is our T running back. He's going to the right side and lining up into this formation. Everyone else, as far as the X, the Y, the tackles, the guards, the centers, the fullback, they're in their same alignment as they would be an ace. But we're taking the T and bringing him over, and he is now splitting the difference between the wide receiver and the wing. Now the wing is still in his normal alignment as if he was an ace formation. He's in a 2-point stance. He's angled in towards the opposite inside linebacker and a half moon angle with his hands on top of his thigh boards. The T receiver now that we brought from the left side is in a 2-point stance now, like a receiver. His inside foot is up. He's got most of his weight on that inside foot. His hands are up, ready to take on any type of press coverage to get off the line of scrimmage. His heel of his back foot is up off the ground a little bit, more geared towards a receiver stance. And again, we can run any one of our run plays or pass plays off of this Ruby formation. As I mentioned earlier, everyone else is the same. So there's only one guy making an adjustment here in this Ruby formation. Now, if we would happen to be on hashes, now most of the time we run this Ruby formation, we are on the left hash going to the wide side, or we're in the middle of the field going to the right side. So we try not to run the tray formation to the boundary unless we feel it gives us an advantage at any point in time. But so you'll see us run this in the left hash and middle, not so much in the right. And spacing is essential. It's their normal spacing, as we mentioned, in the ace formation. In the middle of the field, the receivers are splitting the difference between the hash and the sideline. Now again, we do have some adjustments depending on the type of play that we're dealing with. But this is our Ruby formation. Our next formation, which is the opposite of our Ruby, is our yellow formation. This is just like the Ruby formation now, but we're switching it up. Now our T is going back, our left wing is going back to his original position in a half moon angle, angled towards the backside inside linebacker, And our Z is going over and splitting the difference between the wing and the wide receiver. Our X and Y, our fullback, our quarterback, our tackles and guards and centers are the same. We will use this formation in the middle of the field or on the right hash. But we're now taking our Z and bringing them over and splitting the difference. Again, the Z will be in a receiver stance, a 2-point stance with his inside leg up and his hand positions up right around his chest area for, again, press coverage. Our next formation is our double tight end formation. This double tight end formation is what we call our heavy formation. We also have a package of plays that we run in this. This is our short yardage possibly situation. We have run heavy in situations where it wasn't necessarily short yardage, but it is our formation where we bring in 2 tight ends and we take the 2 wings and either insert 2 more power backs into this situation, or we put the wings into the halfback T look here. So we'll have the 2 tight ends and the 2 wings or different personnel along with the fullback. In this particular formation, everybody on the left side, guard, tackle, and end, will be in left-handed stances. We will have 2-foot splits along the left side. So 2 foot between the guard and the center, 2 foot between the guard and the tackle, and the tackle and the tight end. Same thing on the right-hand side. The only variation of the right-hand side is they'll be in right-handed stances. So left is left-handed stances, right is right-handed stances. Now all 3 running backs will be in a 3-point stance. Okay, 3-point stance. Whatever stance they feel is comfortable, their dominant hand. If they're left-handed, it can be in left hand, or right-handed in a right-hand stance. Now the center and the quarterback and the fullback are all lined up together. Again, the fullback is 1.5 yards from his hand to the quarterback's heels. So we keep that alignment, try to keep it consistent. Now we will adjust that alignment a little bit depending on the fullback's speed and his abilities. But he will set the T formation. Once he lines up, our right and our left running back will be approximately in B gap in a 3-point stance. So again, they'll be right around 3 yards away from the line of scrimmage, depending on the quarterback and depending on the fullback. But this is what we call our heavy formation. Now, we do have a heavy right and a heavy left formation. We'll possibly take our personnel, maybe our stronger tight end and our stronger running back, and put them on a particular side. And we'll balance the strength out to their side and maybe run off of that or counter off of that, depending on how we want to match up our personnel. So when we come out there, we can go heavy right or heavy left, or we can just go heavy in general. We've done it in both ways in order to handle our personnel. But this is a pretty important formation for us in different situations. So we call this our heavy formation. Our next formation we call Falcon. Now in this formation, depending again on our type of personnel, we'll get our wings now that were always the number 2 receivers, and we'll flank them out to our number 1 receiver. So we're trying to get them maybe involved more in the outside passing game, and maybe we got a mismatch inside with our receivers. So in this formation, the fullback, the quarterback, the tackles and guards and center are all the same, varying up their splits. This time, our wings that were in their normal ace alignment are going out, and they are now splitting the difference between the hash and the sideline. And our receivers that were out doing that originally are coming in and splitting the difference between our wing and our tackle. And you can see it mirrored on both sides. In this particular formation, we have to make sure our 2 wide receivers are still on the line of scrimmage and our wings are still off the line of scrimmage at the wide receiver's heels. We don't want to have too many guys on the line of scrimmage. So in this formation, our number 1s are our wings, our number 2s are our wide receivers on the line of scrimmage. And again, We will use this formation depending on our personnel, depending on how and why we want to attack certain defenses, and in certain ways we can get them both involved in any type of mismatch. This is our Falcon formation, and it's based off our spread look. This red formation is along the lines of our Falcon formation. In this particular set, what we want to do is get one of our wings to be our number one receiver outside. So if we're counting from the outside in, we got our number one, number two, number three, and possibly four. And we got number one, and then possibly two weak side if you count it from a defensive aspect. So up front, our tackles, guards, and centers, and fullback and quarterback are their normal alignment. Actually, our right wing will be at his normal alignment. Our left wide receiver will be at his normal alignment and normal stances. Over here, we're taking our T wing, our left wing, and bringing him over as number one, and we're sliding that receiver in, splitting the difference between us and the tackle. Okay, so we have the wing, wide receiver, and another wing. Okay, again, in this formation, the idea behind this is possibly to create a mismatch or possibly to get them involved in different pass routes. Maybe some of the personnel that we have, this guy runs a better route than this guy. This guy's maybe a better under runner. So we can adjust that or adjust this particular formation to meet the needs of that personnel. And this is what we call our red formation. Our opposite of red is our blue formation. It's the same lines as our red. We're just flipping it over to the other side. Now we're taking our Z, which is our right wing, and putting them out at number one. We're taking the receiver and sliding them in and splitting the difference between the tackle and the wing. Again, the centers, guards, tackles, quarterback, fullback are their same alignment, same stance. The right wide receiver is the same, and the left wing is the same. And this blue formation, again, we're gearing it around the personnel and trying to get that wing maybe more involved as the number one receiver out there, or possibly in just some type of situation that we need him to be in as far as the play goes. But this is what we call our blue formation. Red and blue work together. Our next area off our formations is a very short area we're going to talk about is our motions here at Lincoln Way East. And our ace formation and our ruby and yellow and red and blue and heavy, we've dictated some motions that go along with these particular formations. We'll talk about here basically four motions. This first one we're going to talk about is our rose motion. It's based off our ace formation. I went through in the previous segment our alignments and our splits and our stances in that formation. This is geared around that ace formation. Our rose motion is our T running back coming in motion in our play to set up either our run game or our play action or our counter. In this motion here, the T formation is the only running back, the T position is the only running back going in motion. And obviously, we can't have two guys set in motion, but he's going in back motion in this particular set. So what he's going to do is he's going to actually take a step with his inside foot. He's going to take a step and he's going to shuffle, and as he shuffles, he's going to hop in the motion. You'll see it with our tape as we go through some of the plays in the next segment. But he's going to literally take a step and he's going to shuffle and slide and then hop and then go towards the line of scrimmage. So his motion is going to be a half moon shaped angle backwards, but once he gets his step and his slide, he's going to turn his shoulders towards the line of scrimmage and go downhill. And this is what we call our rose motion. So it's a step and kind of a shuffle hop and go downhill towards the line of scrimmage. Our opposite of rows is what we call our load motion. It is done by our right wing, our Z position, and he is going to step and shuffle and hop towards his left going downhill. This is a half moon motion again towards the fullback, and then once the ball is snapped, he'll be moving downhill towards the line of scrimmage. And again, you'll see a better visual of his step and shuffle hop on the film when we get to our plays. But this is what we call our load motion. Our Z knows, and load motion, he's going in motion. And our rows motion, our T is going in motion. Okay, and these are two main motions that we run a lot of times. I'd have to say 50 or 60 times, 50 or 60% of the time in any given game. Our Roger motion is our motion that's going all the way across the field and splitting the difference between our wing and our wide receiver. In this Roger motion, we're trying to set up our Ruby formation, as we showed you earlier. So in this Roger formation, this running back is sprinting as fast as he can and then slowing down once he gets to the spacing that we need him at in this particular play or this particular set. So in Roger, the T's coming all the way across here and slowing down where he's splitting the difference between the tackle and the wide receiver. That's what we call our Roger motion. Larry motion is the opposite motion. This is now when our Z is going across the field as fast as he can and splitting the difference between the tackle and wide receiver. Again, we want him to slow down. He does not reset in the Larry or Roger formation. They just go in motion, and once they get to that area, they gear down, and then we hope have the ball snapped by them. Okay, but these four motions, Rose and Load and Roger and Larry, are four key motions that we use probably 50 to 60% of the time in a game. Rose and Load much more than Roger and Larry, but Roger and Larry do set up many aspects of some of our particular plays. And that is our motion game. I hope you enjoyed the information that we went through today. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to give me a call or email me. Thank you very much for the opportunity, and take care.